This video is all about a really practical and powerful technique to develop your psychic or intuitive skills when reading tarot. I believe that we are all psychic or intuitive, and that just like with anything, practice will always improve that skill. One of the things that quite a few clients have got a bit spooked out about now is how I often start describing the next card in a tarot spread before I've actually turned it. And reading tarot is about creating a narrative between the cards in answer to your question or the area of sort of topic that you're reading about. Now, we are tuned in to story, okay? And if you're watching a film or if you're reading a fiction book, particularly if you know the author or the genre or the director, you're probably going to have a good understanding of what's going to happen next. Even if you know there's going to be a twist, you know there's going to be a twist. Okay, lots of us, myself included, I love to read anything by Linwood Barclay because there's a formula to it, because I feel safe and I know what's going to happen. Even though he surprises me, I always know I'm going to be surprised, and I love that. And reading tarot can be the same sort of thing. You get into the narrative and you know what is most likely to happen next. So if you've read any of my tarot blogs or my book, or if you've read my videos, you know the first thing I'm going to say is turn each card over one at a time and just stop and look at the card. Okay, when you get your first card, do not reach for Google. Do not reach for your tarot book or your tarot crib sheet. Stop and look at the card. Now, if I'm reading a book and I get to a word I don't understand, I just carry on, and I presume that the context of the story will help me to understand the meaning of the word. And if I haven't understood the word after a while, I might then stop and go and look it up. And tarot's the same. Often in a reading, I will get to a card that makes no sense. I don't stop and worry about it. I just keep going. I mark in my mind, okay, that didn't make sense. I'll come back to it. So to me, reading tarot is like reading a book. So I'm not actually reading now. I'm just demonstrating. I would definitely say get started on your spread. Pull the first couple of cards. Get yourself grounded in the narrative. Feel the flow of the cards. And then when you're ready to pull, perhaps the second or the third or the fourth card, just pause. Don't turn over the card yet. Just connect to yourself. What do you expect to happen next? Okay, now we are not trying to name cards here. Okay, we're not looking for the name. We're looking for the feel. And what I tend to find, and then when you turn the card over, you're either validated and you're going, damn, that was good. Or you're thinking, okay, I thought it would be about boundaries. I thought it would be about needing to put better boundaries in for myself. And I've got the King of Cups. Yeah. So you're learning as you go. Don't get frustrated if you can't see the connections between your intuition and the cards. Just focus on learning as you go. And what I often find with this technique is, let's say I've got a really neutral card. I'm trying to think of an exact example when this happened. I got the Seven of Cups, and the Seven of Cups can be about being lost in dreams. And I was reading for a client quite recently, and she had the Seven of Cups, and I said, this is about trust. You've really got to open your heart up. You've really got to allow this to happen. And I looked at the Seven of Cups and I was like, that's not the Seven of Cups. That's the Seven of Cups and I turned it over and it was the Fool. So what you'll start to do is you'll start to read more into this card than is in this card. And you're starting to know intuitively what the next card is. You're starting to jump a little bit ahead of yourself to get to the next card so that you're in a narrative flow. Now, I used to be a nursery school teacher, and when you're teaching a child to read, they're breaking down words, k, a, t. As adults, we don't do that. We just look at the word and we don't sound it out. We just look at it and we know it's cat. We jump over the sounding out stage to just read the word. And that's what we're doing here. We're imagining that each card is a letter. And with a lot of experience and a lot of practice, we can begin to presume we know what the next letter is. Please, it does take time. If you want to practice this, what I would really suggest is mindset is really important. So before you start reading your cards, just pause for a moment and just focus on your breath. I like to sit with my feet flat on the floor. I like to breathe in through the soles of my feet and feel myself grounded. The better grounded you are, the more open your crown chakra is. If you are working with Reiki or yoga or a particular breath technique, use that at the start of your tarot session. You might want to go for a walk. You might want to have a cup of relaxing herbal tea. Do something and get into the habit of doing the same thing before you start reading the tarot. Because to do this technique, to develop your intuition and your psychic development, you need to calm your left brain and be in a relaxed state. So do something calming before you start to read the tarot. And little and often is better. You can use this technique on a 3-card reading. Okay, it doesn't work on a 1-card reading because you need the flow. And you'll notice that I often pick up my cards and shuffle them even if I'm not going to read them. It's because I've spent so long getting into a relaxed state of mind when I read the cards that just the act of shuffling the cards actually calms me down. So this is what we're doing. We are allowing ourselves to be relaxed, putting no judgment, no expectations. We're turning the cards one by one to explore the narrative, and we're starting to get a feel of what the next card is likely to be because we're in the narrative flow. Give it a go. If you'd like more specific videos on this, please drop me a link, a comment in the comments. I read all the comments and I definitely adjust what I'm planning to record based on what people ask me for. So do drop any thoughts of this in the comments, and I'd love to share some more videos on this.